My marriage ended the night my son's life hung by a thread. I gave up everything to be by Mason's side. But Derek twisted that pain into a weapon. He spread lies that I was exploiting our son's illness for attention. Now, after months of silence, he's in custody, caught trying to abduct Mason from the cancer ward. Dressed as a janitor. That was last Thursday. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. When Mason was diagnosed with leukemia at 5, I walked away from my job, my degree, and everything I thought made me me. I thought Derek and I were team parents united. But as the hospital visits piled up, he grew distant. One night, he didn't come home. Mason asked if Daddy stopped loving us. I told him, Daddy's just confused. I didn't know then it was the beginning of our unraveling. 3 months later, Derek moved out without warning. I found a sticky note on the fridge. I need space. This isn't the life I wanted. That night, Mason had a fever and cried for hours. I held him, rocking him in silence. Jennifer, my sister, stayed over, holding my hand when I broke down. That's when I realized I'd be doing this alone. And I'd have to protect Mason from more than just cancer. After weekend visits with Derek, Mason returned withdrawn and nauseous. Dr. Patel noted missed doses in his medication log. I confronted Derek, who smirked, saying, "You always overreact, Sophia." Our lawyer warned me to document everything. Jennifer suspected Derek was sabotaging care, but others dismissed it. Meanwhile, my community, once supportive, started pulling away. Derek posted online that I was using Mason's illness for attention. I wondered, was he trying to destroy more than just custody? Mason began fearing his visits. He says I don't need the medicine, he whispered one night. I clenched my fists. Sophia filed for emergency custody, but the court delayed the hearing. Vanessa, Derek's new girlfriend, showed up at the hospital uninvited, claiming she was stepmom. I pushed for restricted access, but Derek's smear campaign had taken root. Even Dr. Patel seemed hesitant. I asked myself, how do you protect your child from their own father? One Monday, Mason collapsed at school. Paramedics rushed him in. His chemo levels were dangerously low. I demanded answers. Nurse records showed his meds hadn't been refilled in weeks. Derek blamed the pharmacy. Officer Rivera opened an inquiry. Jennifer stormed into there shouting, "He's trying to kill your son." I shook with rage and fear, but the judge still refused to suspend visitation. I wondered what more proof did they need before tragedy struck. Derek began showing up at parent support groups. He'd smile, act concerned, then whisper lies. She fakes emergencies for sympathy. Suddenly, longtime allies stopped calling. Even my church's meal train dried up. I overheard someone say, "She's just looking for handouts." I clutched Mason's hospital bracelet, fighting tears. Jennifer tried rallying support, but gossip spread faster. Sophia urged patience, but I feared we were running out of time. I asked myself, when did truth stop mattering? A neighbor showed me a blog post, anonymous but clearly about me. It accused me of Munchausen by proxy, claiming I was addicted to attention. Mason read it and cried, "Is it true?" My heart shattered. Officer Rivera traced it to Vanessa's IP address, but without direct proof, charges were stalled. Sophia tightened the custody case. Dr. Patel quietly confirmed Mason's progress reversed after visits. Still, Derek walked free. I questioned how many more cracks before collapse. At the emergency hearing, Mason sat between us, eyes hollow. "I don't want to go with Daddy," he whispered into the mic. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Derek's jaw tightened. Sophia handed the judge school logs, pharmacy records, and Dr. Patel's letter. Vanessa fidgeted in the back row. When Mason coughed and the judge saw the bruises, the room fell silent. Still, the judge only ordered supervised visits. I swallowed my scream. It wasn't enough. 3 days later, Mason's IV was tampered with. Nurse footage caught a janitor moving oddly near his room. Officer Rivera froze the screen. Derek in disguise. My knees buckled. Jennifer screamed. Hospital security failed to notice the fake badge. Sophia filed for criminal charges. Derek was arrested on site. Shouting, she turned my son against me. Mason shook in my arms. The judge called for an emergency custody ruling. I clung to Mason, whispering, "You're safe now." Courtroom silence thickened as footage played. Derek's disguise, the tampered if unmistakable. Judge Reyes looked stunned. The Vanessa called to testify, feigned ignorance. I thought he was helping Mason, she claimed. The prosecutor leaned in. "You funded his badge and outfit, didn't you?" Her silence screamed guilt. Jennifer squeezed my hand. Mason sat bravely beside me, holding Dr. Patel's sticker chart. "I just want to get better," he whispered. The court ruled full custody to me immediately. Derek was denied bail, pending trial for attempted abduction and medical endangerment. Vanessa fled the state. An arrest warrant followed. News broke citywide. Father accused of tampering with son's treatment. Suddenly, my neighbors offered help again. The church organized meals. Even Dr. Patel teared up during Mason's next visit. "You saved him," she whispered. But I felt no victory, just relief. Mason asked if Daddy would come back. I hugged him tightly. "Not if I can help it." 2 weeks later, Mason rang the remission bell. His hair was growing back. Jennifer threw a small party. For the first time in years, Mason laughed without fear. Officer Rivera attended, dropping off legal documents for final protection orders. "He wouldn't come near again," he assured. I watched Mason hug Sophia. "Thank you for fighting for us," he said. I finally exhaled. The scars remained, but so did the strength. And that, for once, felt enough. Just when I thought it was over, a package arrived. No return address. Inside, hospital badge replicas, USP, and a photo of Mason at recess. My stomach dropped. Officer Rivera analyzed the USP deranged journal entries, all signed DD. Derek had followers online. A forum discussed freeing sick kids from pharma moms. Sophia paled. He wasn't acting alone. Jennifer added extra locks. My phone pinged. "You can't hide him forever." My knees buckled. Who else was involved? Sophia traced the package to a private mailbox, leased under a fake name. Surveillance showed Vanessa dropping it off, disguised in a hoodie. "She's back," Rivera muttered. Mason began having nightmares again. I checked doors twice. Jennifer refused to leave our side. Rivera requested emergency surveillance. Mason's school installed cameras. "It's not paranoia anymore," I whispered. Sophia filed for federal involvement. The judge expedited charges. I stared at the USP. What else were they planning? The buy confirmed the forum was linked to extremist naturalist groups. Some posts included pictures of Mason's school and hospital. One entry read phase 2 begins when she lets her guard down. I clutched Mason tighter. Jennifer suggested relocation. Dr. Patel offered a secure clinic out of state. Rivera started coordinating with Cybergmer. Sophia met with federal prosecutors. They're more than deluded, she said. They're organized. I stared at Mason asleep beside me. I wouldn't lose him at 2 m. Motion sensors triggered. A figure tried our back door. I grabbed Mason and ducked into the panic room Jennifer installed weeks prior. Rivera arrived in 5 minutes. They caught Vanessa's car fleeing nearby, in the trunk tranquilizers and a child's blanket. Charges now included conspiracy and attempted kidnapping. Sophia wept quietly in her car. They're escalating, she said. Mason clung to me. Are we moving, Mommy? I nodded. We're going where no one can find us. We were located under federal protection. New names. Newtown. Mason became Eli's at school. I taught him code phrases and escape drills. Jennifer moved with us, changing her job and hair color. Dr. Patel consulted remotely. Sophia coordinated legal updates. The officer Rivera transferred case files to federal marshals. One day, Mason asked, will I always be running? I knelt beside him. No, baby, one day we stop hiding. But today we stay safe. I never let him out of sight. A federal sting arrested 2 more forum members, one near our new school, the other tracking Jennifer's license plate online. Their plans included targeting other pharma moms. Mason's photo was in both suspects' homes. They idolized Derrick, Sophia said grimly. Rivera flew in to brief us. It's cult behavior now. I sobbed into Jennifer's shoulder. Mason listened, quiet. Did they ever love me? He asked. I pulled him close. Love doesn't hurt like that, sweetheart. Real love protects. Sophia launched a civil suit against Derrick and Vanessa's estates. The judge froze their assets, securing funds for Mason's therapy and our relocation costs. The forum was shut down. But whispers remained. I joined a survivor group of targeted parents. One mother cried. They ruined everything. I replied. We're still here. Mason started art therapy. His first drawing, a house with tall fences and a smiling sun. Jennifer framed it. He's healing. She whispered, so was I. A podcast picked up our story. I hesitated but agreed. Voice disguised. Titled Pharma Mama Mothers Fight Against Online Terror. It trended overnight. Messages poured in, mothers thanking me. Survivors reaching out. One email stood out. I believed the lies about you. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Jennifer teared up reading it aloud. You're not invisible anymore, she said. Mason listened quietly. Later he whispered, can I be Eli and Mason? I nodded. You can be both. A new threat emerged. Mason's medical records were leaked online. The document showed treatment schedules, clinic locations, even allergy details. Sophia tracked the leak to a former nurse under investigation. She sold access to 4 members. Rivera confirmed. Mason stared at the screen. His trust shattered. I pressed charges. Demanded clinic overhaul security. Jennifer called every contact she had in Cybergmer. Dr. Patel assured us protocols would change. I held Mason close. No one will touch you again. One night, I found Mason tearing pages from his hospital scrapbook. If no one knows, they can't find me, he said. I gently stopped him. Your story isn't something to hide. We sat together, rebuilding it only now with locks. Jennifer added a password. I labeled each photo brave fighter safe. Sophia sent a court order for lifelong identity protection. Rivera confirmed the buy flagged us as high risk, ensuring continuous digital monitoring. They'll never hurt you again, I vowed. An anonymous donor offered full college funding for Mason, citing our podcast. He deserves peace and purpose. The note read. Jennifer cried. There are still good people. Mason hugged the letter. Sophia vetted the source. It was legitimate. I stared at the note, unsure how to process kindness after so much cruelty. Mason whispered, maybe I'll be a doctor like Dr. Patel. I smiled. Or anything you dream. For the first time, hope felt stronger than fear. At the State Trauma Summit, Sophia presented our case changing hospital security policy statewide. News outlets covered the reforms. One headline read, Mom's Battle Sparks Legislative Action. I sat in the audience. Gripping Jennifer's hand, Mason watched from home, waving as Sophia mentioned his courage. Later he said, I helped change something. I kissed his forehead. You helped change everything. Our story wasn't just survival, it was revolution. And for the first time, the world was listening. During a therapy session, Mason drew a dragon guarding a small boy. That's me, he said, and the dragon is Mommy. I choked back tears. Jennifer took a photo. Dr. Patel smiled. He's reclaiming his story. That night, Mason placed the drawing beside his bed. So I remember I'm safe, he explained. I stared at it, stunned by his strength. Sophia framed a copy in her office. He's why I do this, she said. And I agreed. Vanessa was extradited and faced trial. The courtroom buzzed as charges were read: kidnapping, conspiracy, identity theft, stalking. She pleaded guilty. Her sentencing included public apology and lifetime restriction from any contact. I faced her once, delivering a victim impact statement. You tried to rewrite my son's life, but you failed. Her eyes dropped. Mason watched from a secure room. Did she say sorry? He asked later. She did, I replied. But we don't need her words to heal. 1 year later, Mason stood on stage at his school's survivor assembly. He read a poem titled Brave Like Me. Karen's wept. I clutched Jennifer's arm. Rivera recorded it for Sophia. Dr. Patel sent flowers. The auditorium erupted in applause. I used to be scared, Mason said, but now I know I'm strong. The principal declared the day Bravery Day in his honor. I held Mason tight. You're not just surviving, I whispered. You're inspiring. He smiled wide. For Mason's birthday, he asked to visit his old hospital to say thank you. We brought cupcakes to the pediatric ward. Nurses cried seeing him healthy. Dr. Patel hugged him tightly. You're a miracle. Mason handed bracelets to other kids, each reading Keep Fighting. I watched him comfort a crying toddler, offering her his dragon drawing. This helps me feel brave, he said. My chest ached with pride. Jennifer whispered, he's turning pain into power. And he truly was. Each morning, I walk Mason to school, hand in hand, always scanning. But I smile now. He skips beside me, humming Our New Home Has Fewer Shadows. Jennifer framed his Brave Like Me poem in the hallway. Sophia sends updates less frequently. Rivera texts check-ins. Mason sleeps through the night. I whisper before bed, you're safe. Always, and I believe it. I joined a survivors panel last week. Parents like me, sharing scars. One mother sobbed. I thought I was crazy. I held her hand. They make us feel that way until we stop hiding. Afterward, Mason asked what I said. I told him. I told the truth. He nodded. That's brave too. It was the first time I didn't flinch at the past. Durick remains in federal custody, denied parole. Vanessa serves her sentence in isolation. Their online network is dismantled. Asen's medical records are sealed. Jennifer runs a support site for families targeted online. Our community held a candlelight vigil last month honoring survivor stories. Sophia won a National Legal Award. Rivera was promoted to chief investigator. Mason starts middle school next